Welcome to the Rooted Warriors, the podcast where the bonds of sisterhood are not just celebrated, but explored through laughter, tears, and everything in between. Join me and my two dearest friends as we dive deep into the roots of our own friendships, sharing stories and challenges. Whether you're looking for inspiration, advice, or just a good story, we're here to bring a piece of our sisterhood right into your life.
Welcome, our amazing crew. Today, we're diving into some good old-fashioned family fun. We're pulling out this or that. And who doesn't love a little friendly competition? Did you grow up on board games, card games, or maybe you were a master of Twister or charades? No matter what your family favorite was, we're here to bring those vibes back and enjoy some playful moments together.
So I was thinking for a split second, like we could do check-ins really fast. And then I was thinking maybe instead of check-ins, we can talk about like the best thing you did this week, like a happy moment this week.
Warrior victory.
Yeah, because you're all here, so I know you're fine.
We're like, we all made it. We all made it.
Everybody
We're
made
safe.
it. But what's your sparkle in your eye this week? Happy moment.
Oh my gosh, I came back from my vacation. So seriously, the ocean is still sparkling in my mind, and I feel refreshed, like I'm able to go on another 3 days without going back. I'm just joking. No, I seriously, it filled me up and it brought a sense of kind of peace to me. I feel settled, and I haven't felt that settled in a while.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah. This week, Hannah and Ethan were gone at Disneyland, but we had Katie and Charlotte and Jeremiah was over because Chase was on Graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I cooked dinner. And we went for a night walk with the baby and ran into the neighbor and chit-chatted outside. And it just felt like home. It felt good. It felt nice. And we walked back into the house and it smelled like the food I had just cooked. I was like, wow, like this is what people mean when they say like you come home. Like it has that smell, that feel. And, you know, the only thing missing was Hannah, Ethan, and Chase. You know, it would have been nice to have everybody under the same roof. But either way, like, you know, you take your small victories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like, you know, nothing else matters. I've said it a million times that family's everything to me. But it was nice. It was a really nice part of my week for sure. It was a blessing. How about you, Gina?
I'm just gonna say my new grandbaby.
Oh, she's so cute.
She's so
her
beautiful.
eyes. Oh my.
Well,
goodness.
Daddy, goodness. So what do we call her other than Ophelia? Does she have a nickname?
This is what Anthony says. Ophelia.
I was going to say,
Baby parts.
The right stuff.
Ophelia.
Baby. We've been calling her Baby O.
Baby O.
Baby O. Baby
Oh,
O.
like she's a baby
Baby
O.
O.
Baby O.
Maybe you'll
Yeah.
drop the O in the end and she'll just be baby.
Maybe she'll be a
And
Cheerio.
that'll just be her.
Yeah,
No,
Baby
no.
O.
No one will put her in the corner.
Over the weekend, not this weekend, but the weekend before. So I think like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday or so. I had Gigi. So that's always a delight, you know, fills my cup up. So I'm just going to go with my grandbabies. Not that my children don't make me happy, because they do, but there's something wonderful about grandbabies.
I'm sitting here kind of jealous because you guys know where my boys are right now and things like that. So it's like a little bit of a rough topic. And I'm just loving hearing like your kids and your grandbabies. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, but you know what your brother did? On our way there, he stopped by Noah and dropped off a bunch of baseball bats and things like that I got to get a hug from my Noah in Monterey.
Oh, I love that.
That was a huge deal. A huge deal.
That's
I
good.
haven't
How
seen
thoughtful.
him.
He's so thoughtful.
He is so thoughtful.
That's
I mean, he
good.
didn't even have to take that stuff to him. I get that, but he was going to take it, and the fact that he planned it out so we could stop by on our way through to the vacation, it's like it settled me for the, I don't know,
that.
something about hugging that boy.
I love that.
Yeah, for sure. So what a pretty little vase we have here on our table. Andy, do you want to explain it to us?
Well, I think it's more of a candy dish or a jar or something. You purchased it. Is it an antique?
It is an antique.
It is an
It is.
antique.
Shout out to the Antique Warehouse down in Salida.
Yes.
Hey.
They were great.
We love
Ian,
them.
what's up, Ian?
So I had an extra hour or so. So that's what I did with my time, because I was like, So I'm texting Andy and I'm like, are you doing the things? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, do you want me to bring the jar? And she was like, a big, beautiful one.
Look at it.
As I'm like
It's
holding
beautiful.
on to this mason jar that I had just grabbed underneath my cupboard. I'm like,
oh no.
never mind. So I went to Salida. I went to the antique store and I literally got turned around in there. And I had to ask somebody, where's the entrance? Because I kept
It's a day
thinking
trip.
that I was making it, and I was not finding it, but they helped me find it. It took me like an hour of just like searching. I'm like, this is not it. The guy's like, can I help you? And I'm like, no.
Can you describe the guy that helped you?
It's an older gentleman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love
That
that.
A couple of the son helped me for a minute find my way. I was like, can you help me find my way? He's like, left, then right. Yeah.
So I thought that when you asked that, I just figured you had something, you know, because you always have stuff like that. So I just figured. So when you said that, that's what I was thinking.
Oh.
She had a mason jar.
I had a
okay?
mason. I had a mason jar.
So what's in this? What's in this beautiful vase?
So she bought this amber colored. I don't even.
I
know.
think it's a candy
It's a
dish, but
candy
right
dish,
now
for
it's
sure.
not a candy dish because the lid's over there.
Yeah, so right now it's a vase.
It's a vase.
It's a card holder, actually. So,
Yeah.
so we
It's
have
so many things.
a lot of cards in this container, and it and basically what I think is we will just kind of go around and each draw two, and we would maybe talk about which one we would rather do. Now, let me be fair. None of these options are going to be good. So it's like making
They're all trash.
yeah, it's like picking the lesser of two evils.
Well, we've done that a
honestly.
few times in our life.
I
huh?
figure we're used to it, right?
Yeah.
We're accustomed
To have to make bad choices from bad choices.
exactly.
The best of the bad.
The
So
best
what's
of
the
bad.
better bad choice?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get this
we're
show on the
gonna-
road.
let's
We're gonna
do
call
it.
it this. Did we say this or that? We're gonna call it this or that unless someone tells us a better name for it that isn't already a name to a game.
So go ahead and pick two, Andy.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna pick from different areas because I feel like it's trying to trick me.
All right, Gina. Now you pick two.
Oh, sorry.
Ew.
These are the most
my gosh.
horrific things I have ever heard in my life.
Okay, Andy, you go first.
Oh my gosh. We were just talking about this on the last episode. Gain 250 pounds that you can never lose. Anything but that, almost.
That's unhealthy.
Yeah, I'm going to die
Okay.
at that point. But the other one, and if anybody knows me, I'm obsessed with mouths, like obsessed with them. And they're saying that my choice is gain 250 pounds that you can never lose or have brown teeth.
Oh. I mean, I'd rather just have brown teeth.
I'm going to have to go with brown teeth because if I have to never talk again, I'd rather do that than be 250. That sounds terrible, but I can also get my teeth fixed. I feel like and if they're telling me I can't lose this weight,
Yeah.
then it's like,
It's like a constant passport picture.
yeah, right. Or maybe we can just pull them all out and I'll have falsies.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll just have dentures.
Fresh.
I know, right?
What about you, Gina?
Nothing says 50 like dentures. I'm just joking.
So I don't
that.
I don't like mine at all.
You
Okay.
love them.
Constantly smell body odor that no one else can smell.
That is intolerable
Oh
and
my God.
unacceptable.
Yeah.
I'd rather be 250 pounds.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like I have a hound dog nose.
Yeah, and you have a gag reflex. on that
Yes.
long.
So that was that, or erase the last 10 years from your memory. And I would never do that.
Wow. And you know what? I said rather be 250 pounds, but I'm not going to pick unhealthy over smelly. I'm just going to have to have a remote position
So
on
I'm
that
gonna-
one. What are you going
yeah.
to go with on that? Because the alternative
I
is
can't
what?
erase my memory. So I'm going to smell stinky shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're going to smell it or smell like it?
No,
gonna
constantly
smell it.
smell body odor that nobody else can smell. So it's not coming from me. It's
Oh,
just
I'm
something
sorry.
that
I
I'm smelling.
misunderstood. So yeah, I guess that makes it kind of easy. I mean,
I don't want to walk around smelling dirty ass all day, but
I know.
I feel like I
will.
have that anyways
But you
because I have
will.
such a hyper sense of smell.
me too.
Yeah.
So I feel like I kind of already suffer from that.
Yeah.
So when you go somewhere and it's to me, I get it that culturally, like I'm fine with it, but it's when it's so potent that I have to leave the room. And
It's like pepper spray in your eyes.
yeah, like I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I know we can all get a little musty and a little stinky or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one, Gina. What about you, Mo? What would you do in that situation?
I mean, I would never erase the last 10 years of my memory because obviously it surrounds my children. So,
Right.
And my husband. So I would
Right.
definitely not do that. I'd just have an even more keen sense of smell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a crazy choice.
All of these are stupid. Okay. So,
I don't like this game.
This game sucks now. Okay. So mine is eat 3 pounds of solid butter in one sitting or be unable to recognize anyone's face. So fun fact about me, I don't like butter.
I was going to say it was an easy decision, but you don't like butter.
I don't think I could eat butter.
I don't like butter. So, and I've always been that way. I've gotten my toast dry since like the beginning of my life. So I don't like butter. I don't put extra butter on anything. I don't put it on my bread. I don't put it on anything. On
Baked
my
potato?
pancakes. Nope. I just don't like it. It's not a necessity for me.
So we're clear. I make baked potato soup out of mine with sour cream. So
Okay.
that's the difference between you and I. And you're saying that you're not going to eat the butter. So you're going to choose the other.
So
If it's hidden, it's fine.
Yeah, if butter is hidden, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I just don't like it like on bread or I don't put it on pancakes, things like that. So to eat it in the solid form in one setting, 3 pounds, that's a lot of butter. Have you ever gotten the big 1 pounders?
I'd be sitting there for
A
days.
long time. So, but being unable to recognize anyone's face, like
That
that's
would be
horrible
weird.
too. Like these are terrible choices. This is
I
exactly what we're
know.
talking about.
You're going to have to
Yeah.
work through it.
So
I'm just joking. I have no idea
So
what I would do.
obviously I'm going to pick the butter, even though I think that sounds disgusting. I'm going to throw up many times during that process. And I hate to throw up. Anybody knows me knows I hate to throw up. So that's not going to be fun, but it's got to be the butter.
You would have to do it in very small pieces that you could just swallow
Yeah.
because you cannot chew butter.
Can I just melt it? It
Yes.
says solid. No.
No, it
it says 3
says
pounds of solid butter.
So I would
Oh,
cut it
no.
up in little cubes
Just
and
take
just
shots
like,
of it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just swallow.
But a pound of
swallow.
butter is like this big, guys.
I know.
So you have 3 of those.
So she said she'd sit there for 3 days. We're going to have to.
I mean, you
Seriously,
have to.
right? How else are you going to get
And you're not
through
going to be
that?
able to shit for like a month. So holy crap.
That keeps you from going to the bathroom?
I mean, I would assume. I don't know. I'm not
Do
a
we
butter
do
eater.
2 more and pray for better ones?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what
we
we're
just
doing.
keep going. We're going to
Okay.
go
Draw us
around.
up, Gina.
All right, your turn, Gina. Oops. I love our new studio. Just so I feel like you guys did such a. I'm gonna take this one and that one.
Oh, good. I got better ones this time.
Oh, good. You can go first.
I feel like so much better about this. Well, I can't go first. I was the last one. The last time.
I
So
went
then
first last time.
They're like sick of my voice. So Gina's got to go first.
Yeah, Miss Gina.
Oh, gross. This one says have no fingernails or no toenails. Or ride a really intense roller coaster 100 times in a row at turbo speed. So I would have no fingernails and no toenails
Yeah.
because I cannot do roller
I'm with you.
coasters 100 times.
I can't
at
do it
high
one time.
speed. Yeah.
I was thinking it would save money. You wouldn't have to get your nails and toes done.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah,
That
I
is
just
so
would not have
bad.
them.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
What about you, Andy? Would you do that?
You know, riding the roller coaster thing, I love roller coasters. I just,
At turbo speed? I don't even know if that's not
that's
even
what
high
caught
speed.
me.
It's
Yeah, right?
turbo.
and that's what got me. So I don't do things like Gravitron and things like that. I can't, remember that ride at the
Oh
fair?
my
God.
God.
It's
At
throw up
Ribbon,
every year.
Ribbon Almond Blossom.
Every
had-
year I'd throw up.
Oh, God.
Terrible. And they always had the best food beforehand. Anyway, so yeah, no, I'm going to have to go without toenails and
Yeah.
fingernails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it, honestly. Well, mine is have 0 people wish you happy birthday, which I'd be fine with that because I'm not a birthday person.
Mhm.
Take a 2-hour bath in a tub full of leeches. Obviously, no birthdays.
Well, that
I
just
don't
made it
know.
easy
I
for
mean,
you.
that might be like medically
Is
a
it good for you?
thing.
Yeah. Like how many is good for
Okay,
Like
you
that
guys
used
are
to be
nuts.
a.
Okay, now you guys are taking this health thing.
I want
like,
to
way
say
too
that
far.
like back in the day, that was like a remedy.
For
right?
what?
So after looking for a second, it looks like they used leeches for wound care to like reattach fingers and things like that.
Wait, that's like a thing?
Yeah, apparently I don't know. Supposedly they have like, I can't remember if it's 100 or 1,000 or whatever, but they have teeth, and they when they suck, they end up rejuvenating maybe the veins and bringing them back, like reestablishing them again.
Right.
And then they also used it for like infection and circulation problems. But the funniest thing is that, and I don't know if it's true, but I stopped looking at all the things that it does. The one thing that they said it works for is hemorrhoids.
Stick it to my ass.
What the heck?
Maybe I do need to sit in that bathtub with leeches.
So maybe I'm not okay with that procedure. I'm thinking
in
that's
your
a bad
butthole.
visual.
Maybe some people like that. Some kinky bastard likes that.
It's a leechy. Ew. Anyway.
Leechy in your ass. Well, when we were playing this game, it brought to mind, the games that I played growing up. What games did you guys play growing up? What kind of stuff did you do?
What'd you do, sister?
I was an expert at cheating at Monopoly.
Hands down, that was you. You were the winner.
No, I don't think I ever won. I think there were 4 of us kids and we were all cheaters. So the best cheater won.
It's so
The
classic.
game should have been called Cheater and not Monopoly.
Well, in the Gallup household.
Well, who doesn't cheat at Monopoly?
Yeah, I cheated a few times at Monopoly.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I stole a little money out of that bank a few times.
I want Parkway.
Every
You
time.
know?
Is that what you want? Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that really fast. So when it comes to Monopoly, if you're picking 2 groups of colors, what are your groups of colors, Gina?
Light blue.
Blue, purple. Blue, purple.
The light blue ones or the dark blue ones?
Dark
No,
blue.
it's like the lightest blue or like the,
think
what
it's
is
dark
it? Boardwalk
Dark
and
blue.
Park
Dark
Place.
blue. Dark
Oh.
blue and purple.
Boardwalk and Park Place are mine.
Yeah.
Right? Every time.
What's your
Or
backup,
like
though?
yellow.
Oh, you like yellow.
Right? The yellow going down.
Dude, I want to play Monopoly again. Now you
I
got,
know.
now you got the juices
We might
flowing.
do
I want
that.
freaking hotels on them.
Going
I
all
want the
out.
Trump Hotel on mine.
Yeah.
No
Ooh, we need to
discount for
buy
you.
Trump Monopoly.
Does he have a Trump Monopoly?
Of course.
I mean, he has to.
He's got a
Oh, well.
storybook.
I'm sure
So
he does.
next episode, I'm just joking.
Next episode, we play.
What are you buying? What are you buying on Monopoly?
Definitely, the blues, Park Place and Boardwalk. I like the purple one. I don't know why. I think it's like a cheaper one. So you got to have like that slumlord kind of thing going on too.
Right.
Got to have a little bit of both.
Right.
Can't all be the high end,
Right.
The money's everywhere. So, yeah. And, I'm just vicious. Like I just buy up everything,
Oh, yeah.
like if I have the money, I'm blowing it on everything. And then, then I end up broke because then I can't pay my,
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
moment somebody lands on my property.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
true. I'm getting that
that's
money
just
back. I'm getting that money back,
Money.
What about you, Andy? What board games did you play as a kid?
Because of Monopoly,
like
I'm going.
Candyland.
I know, right? I'm thinking about. We played tons of Candyland, but no, I'm thinking that we did. What was is it Chinese checkers with the marbles? The marbles.
Mancala.
I don't know.
Mancala, where you scoop them, and
No,
then
it's
count
like-
them out.
They're like all like in triangles and around the circle board, and then you play Chinese Chinese checkers.
Were you
with
playing
them.
Ouija or something?
No, no, it's that. And then we played. We were always card games, so we played
Oh no.
Continental Rummy and.
I love Rummy.
She
Yeah,
played
we
like
love
real
Rummy.
intelligent games. We played Uno.
Well, they played backgammon and
Oh.
that kind of stuff. Checkers.
Recently, I learned how to play a card game called Mexican Train.
You were telling me about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have it.
Yeah?
Yeah, we should play it.
Yeah, fun.
I think so.
That's fun.
I like
didn't-
Hearts. Hearts is fun.
I didn't know how competitive I was until this last year or so. Then I've become very competitive.
Oh, really? Is it
Yeah.
golf? Golf made you competitive.
It could have been.
Yeah. And Adam made you competitive.
Yes, Adam probably did. It has come out of
I
me.
could see that.
Yeah.
Every family game night, Jeremiah and I are always fighting because we're both super competitive. And everyone else is just like over us after about a half an hour. And then we accuse the other one of being too competitive when we're both just little assholes that think we have to win at everything.
And then you get all mad when the other.
Oh yeah, we both get mad. Sometimes Jeremiah gets like pouty, I get pouty. Like it's we like to ruin game night. That's what we're here for.
What
That's
kind
what
of
you're-
games do you guys play that you're getting so
So-
worked up at?
No, we do it every time.
Battleship or something?
No, we do it every time. So we did the one that's like the heads up game.
Oh, that's so
We
much.
did that
the
as a group.
headbands.
Yeah, and we did that on
So
the
much
TV the last time at Hannah's house. We were all there as a family. Hannah had made us like this great meal. It was this whole like tea inspired thing. It was
Aw.
she went all out. I mean, all out.
Hannah.
Anyway, so we played this game. It's kind of like the heads up game, and we're playing it on the TV. and Jeremiah had a team and I had a team. That's usually how we work it. We're always on the opposite team. You know, you would think we would learn to be on the same team so we wouldn't act like jerks, but it's more fun when we're being competitive. And so we both
You
got
no
a
longer
little
care
butter.
about your team. It's only about your guys'
It's
rivalry,
only about
right?
destroying Jeremiah. If I can make Jeremiah look bad, I have won this fucking game.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if we
It
lost
doesn't
in
matter.
points.
And then as recent as Wednesday, when we had, you know, the family time without 3 of the family members, we played what is actually a game that apparently Chase's family plays called Fishbowl. And Katie was telling us all about it. And basically, a person plays thing, and the first round, each person picks 2 people that everyone in the group would know, and they put it on a piece of paper and they put it in the fishbowl. So everybody does that, and then one person from one of the groups, because you have 2 different groups, gets up, and they're timed in a 1-minute time frame. They have to get their people to guess who that person is without saying their name. So like, I'll give you an example. You ready? So this is my name. It's in my head. You guys ready?
Yeah.
He loves to play golf and he looks like a Viking.
Adam.
Okay. So you want to
like,
try
who?
you want to go through as many names as you can. And you end up where you're like being funny, you know, like you pick ones that, you know, will get somebody's goat on the other team.
Right.
And you're trying to throw off the other team because
For
you know it's
sure.
their turn first or whatever. And you do 3 rounds each team. But anyways, so Jeremiah's like, oh, you're cheating. I'm not cheating, dude. Like, sorry that your team's sorry dad's on your team. And he's not getting it.
And
Sorry.
the truth comes out.
And he's already had 2 drinks. Sorry.
You're in trouble,
Bad
man.
team picker.
Have you guys ever heard of balderdash?
I feel
Yes,
like I
I've heard of
have.
it.
I feel like I have. Yeah.
That's like where you make up your own word and then they give you 4 other words and you try to convince people that your word is normal, but one of
Bro,
the other words isn't.
This is how I live my life.
This is me too.
I never say the real name because I can never remember.
It's a moism.
It's a moism.
So Adam calls them like Gina-isms because I'll be like, he'll say something and I'm like, I don't know, kind of weather-ish, you know?
Like
yeah,
it's
it's
a word.
weathery.
Yeah.
Weathery, you know,
Yeah.
not a word, but it's my word.
Me too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, you just make those up as you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andyism and
Yep.
Andyland.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
is.
Anyway, so yeah, I play that game for a living, actually.
You can learn the language or just not know what we're talking about. I mean, it's
part
up
of
to
the
you.
story or you're not.
What about like when we were in grade school, the heads up 7-Up?
That was so much
that's
fun.
a good one.
That was and Duck Duck Goose. I mean, I was like the queen of Duck Duck Goose because I was the fastest little shit. So I'm up. They can never catch me.
Dude, I longed for rainy days when it came to that.
Heads up 7-Up.
Yeah, because then we can stay inside and play heads up 7 up.
Oh, I know.
Take me back.
I know.
I wonder if they still play heads up 7-Up.
Now
Oh,
they play
I
some other
wonder.
bull crap now.
Yeah, I don't think so because I think I've brought it up to my boys before, thinking that they would do something like that. I have no clue. Maybe they call it something different. And it's not heads up 7-Up, which means it's not the same thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, there's something politically correct that they use because
Yeah,
somehow that
right.
is not politically correct.
Cannot be.
That is racist. That's 7-Up.
Sexist and racist.
Sexist.
Why isn't it 8 up? Why are you being racist against 8s? No, just joking.
Why do you hate? Why do you hate 8 and 6 so much?
I know.
What's up with 7?
Oh,
7 is the
playing
lucky
with
number.
favorites.
Privilege number 7.
You made me feel bad because 8 is my favorite number. Why can't we play it with 8?
8 up, 7 up.
Mine's 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your favorite number?
I always
Yeah.
see 1s everywhere, but I like, I like 1s.
You're a 1. What's your favorite number?
17 is my favorite number, but 1.
7s probably.
So you like 7? So that's your
Yeah.
favorite number?
11 and 17. Yours is what?
7.
7. So your
Yeah.
7s
You're
across
7.
the boards and your,
13 is my lucky number.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's my
think
favorite
since
number.
like Ace Ventura, when Becca was still around and we were younger and had a sense of humor, she'd be like, I'll call you. Is your number still 7?
Is it still 7?
7. Is that still your number?
That's
yeah,
so
when
funny.
we were being funny. Back in the 90s.
You brought up heads up 7 up and now I cannot get it out of my mind. Do you remember those little triangle popsicle things that they used to cut the top off of? And
Oh, yeah. And then
All
So
the
much
rich
fun.
kids
I
had
love
'em.
that. Yeah, it was fun.
my mom and dad were so mean. They would just be like, no, we're not giving you any money for that. But everybody
Remember
else got
But
it.
you'd watch
School-
everybody else playing it.
school
gosh, that was-
lunches, like when we were kids, were so good.
Hella
Yeah,
good.
best and
Yeah.
worst. You say
Well,
it. Best and
For
worst.
sure. Yeah, what was the best and the worst school lunch?
Oh my gosh. I remember that in the white pastry bags, they had those peanut butter squares.
Hella good. Yes.
Oh my gosh. And they were cut in perfect squares like this.
The lunch ladies were off the
my God,
chain
they were
back
so
then.
good. And then
Helen
Seriously.
Gaetano, shout out.
And then, or a cheese stick, which was like a cold cheese stick that you could just sit and eat. But they had like school lunch back then. We didn't have like bags of chips or anything. Like, so you got like Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and green beans with whatever your little dessert and your carton of milk.
And
like,
dessert was like a freaking cobbler or something.
When we had the apple cobbler, you know, with the oatmeal crumb on top.
Or the
man.
peach. Oh.
And you know, that was the good thing about being a broke ass kid was that my
Free
reduced
lunch.
lunch, I had reduced lunch. So it was 40 cents. And so I thought I was like the best, you know, and then other kids, they would get lunch, but they didn't want to eat it. So I'd eat like some of their stuff.
Do you remember getting second dessert?
So we were so poor, we got free lunch, and I would still go up there and pretend to pay because I was embarrassed. And then my teacher would be like,
go sit down, go get your lunch.
Fun fact, I sent Noah to school and was like, hey, I'm going to make you school lunch every single day. So I'd spend all this time making all these perfect lunches. Come to find out, that kid was eating that lunch and racking up a bill for 3 months of eating lunch in school also.
Oh my God.
and that's not even good food. I don't know when they changed the lunches, but do you remember?
I know when they changed it, but we'll leave it at that.
Do you remember when,
Sorry.
like, I think it was 4th or 5th grade, and then you got to be a helper in the kitchen. Do you remember that?
Oh, I love this.
Oh my
I was
God.
meant to be I was
Yeah.
meant to be a restaurant worker. I love that. I thought it was the coolest thing
When
ever.
your dream is to be the lunch lady when you retire.
I'm telling
that
you,
should have
Helen
been-
Gaetano, I want to be her. I wanted to be her so bad.
Yeah.
All the kids love you because
Yeah.
you're the one with food.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I loved school lunch.
And I get extras, you know, like I get extra whatever the dessert was, or if it was pizza day.
Ooh,
Bro,
pizza
if
day
you
was
did
good.
it during the week that you had pizza day, you were like next level rad. It was so cool.
God,
Yeah.
school lunch was so good.
We had
It
such
was.
good times at school.
You know, we had fun at lunch. You know, when my kids were going towards the end, they weren't allowed to like talk and be loud in the cafeteria. You would get in trouble. We were always loud and talking in the cafeteria.
Us too.
Like, I don't remember it being like
quiet.
quiet. I mean, it's our freaking free time.
Well, think about 80s movies. When are they quiet in the cafeteria?
No, and we're like throwing shit. We're being, you know, kids. And the thing is, like, it's funny because they allow kids to do some crazy shit now. I mean, just crazy. But yet they don't allow them to have, you know, it's got to be super quiet at lunchtime in their free time. Like, our breaks should be our breaks, as you know, for the kids, it should be breaks for them as long as it's safe.
Right.
It should be a fun time. They're having a good time, and that's that.
And then go run it off.
Yeah.
Get ready for your next class.
Yeah, go out there and run. Play some basketball.
That's the way it should be.
I love that.
Maybe we should run a school. Just kidding.
Yeah.
The
Not
first
today's
thing
world.
the first thing I would change was I bring that good old lunch back to
Heck
school.
yeah,
Heck yeah.
right? Hire
So
old
good.
school lunch ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she available?
And how
I don't know,
weird.
Helen, are you still available?
Because you know what? I never remember somebody saying if you had an allergy to something, it was the rarest thing ever.
No one
And you
ever
brought
had
your
it.
own lunch.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
Well, only the rich kids brought their own lunch, but you never heard of somebody having allergies. I never heard that.
Bro,
as a
do you
kid.
guys remember the pencils in the library that you would get for 25 cents and they smelled? Do you remember that?
Like fruit?
or the
Yeah,
tank
whatever.
house?
What's that now?
The tank house.
Oh my God, what the Helen Gaetano owned it.
Yeah. The
Fun
tank
fact,
house.
the lunch lady later owned the tank house. But
What is that? I
It
don't
was
know what that is.
a real retail place on Acacia.
But for school stuff, so I always wanted to buy stickers when I was in there. Like they had the prettiest stickers, or you could get that pencil where you take the lead out and then put it on top.
She's
and
a
then
smart
cool.
lady.
That was the coolest
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
She took her network from the lunch lady department and opened up a supply
Yeah.
store and was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
you could get really cool like pencil bags.
Cool stuff.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it was the best.
Yeah.
book clubs. Do you remember book fairs and book clubs?
One of my favorite
God.
things because I love to read.
Me
and
too.
You know, I
Nothing
couldn't
was
afford
better
a
than
lot of the
checking 'em
books,
off.
but I loved it. I thought it was so cool.
Did you ever take your papers and go check them off and circle which ones you wanted?
And I like begged my mom and Richard for it. I'm like, please.
Please.
And they would usually get me something because they were probably just happy that I wasn't stupid anymore. So
oh no.
they were like,
I
yeah,
love
she
the
wants
she's
book
gonna read.
fair.
She's gonna read. Good idea. But I loved. And then when you'd get it, you'd get, sometimes you wouldn't get the books right then. You'd get them delivered to the house. I mean, it's not like it is now with Amazon where we got a package every day.
Right.
We could actually go into the store and actually pay with tickets and do all kinds of cool stuff.
And I love the smell of the library. Did you guys like the smell of the school library?
Fun fact, that's one of my favorite smells is old library books.
Yeah, I love that smell. It's amazing.
It's such a nostalgic smell.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say.
So what about school games? What game did you play while you were on the playground?
Oh my God. Do you guys remember? I just had a flash. Remember the parachute game with the thing they would throw up in the air?
I forgot about that.
They do that at church camp still.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, that's
and
fun.
then you would go
Was it
underneath
big?
it. Yeah, huge.
I liked.
They did it back then too.
Yeah.
Chinese jump rope. You guys remember that?
Yes.
That was fun.
Hopscotch.
Yeah, that was fun. And I like dodgeball, of
Do you remember
course.
doing this thing with it and then doing this?
Yeah, my friend Kendra Moore, shout
I know you
out
guys can't
Kendra
see
Moore.
me. I'm talking about strings when you'd wrap around your
I
fingers and people.
love that too. Nobody, what is wrong with kids these days?
Yeah,
Well, they were playing video games.
Yeah,
It's
they're
our
playing
fault.
video games and they have
It's our
phones.
era's fault because we created all this crap that the kids all use all the
I was
time.
heartbroken when my ex bought my boys phones when I begged. I was like, please, not until they're like 16 or
How about
something.
that paper one where it went
Loved
like
it for your
this?
boyfriend.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But what's it called?
It's called Chinese something too. It's
Yeah,
like,
I think
Wait,
so.
what's the other one? MASH.
Yes.
MASH was fun too to find out. Yeah.
Mansion,
So good.
apartment, shack, and house.
I mean, who you're shacking up with.
Yeah.
And
Name
you
your
pick like
favorite
the hot
actors.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Whoever
my
was the hot
God.
boy of the year. Sean Sweden was on everyone's list for a couple years.
Oh,
Really?
sure.
I think ours was like Eli Donati. He was Otis Lee in the Cabbage Patch play. He was so cool. I was just joking. That was like 6th grade.
Yeah,
That's
you
so
know.
funny.
Me,
Tetherball.
Mine was
Tetherball
Alan
ours.
Thicke. Alan Thicke was on all of mine. They're like, who the hell is Alan Thicke?
Oh
That's
my
Kirk
God.
Cameron's dad. Yeah. Shout out to Alan Thicke. I'm joking,
Oh
right?
my God.
That's funny.
Is Alan Thicke still alive?
I know, I'm not sure. We'll have to tag him and see
We'll
if
have
he
to tag him,
responds.
see if he responds.
That's
Hey, Alan,
hilarious. What
I
about
loved you.
tetherball?
I love tetherball, but
Oh
I'm a
my
midget,
God.
so it's not a fun game for a midget, really.
Oh.
No. Oh. And
I bet
that's
you were
not fair
aggressive, though. I bet
now.
you were tough.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was mean, so I
Did
scared
you
all
hear
the
the
other girls.
episode where she's beating the ass of everybody?
That was over tetherball.
We had to cut some of it out because it was too brutal. I might get in trouble for that shit.
That's like over tetherball and Monopoly. I'm just
Oh my
joking.
God.
She's like,
Like-
I'll beat your butt.
No, I
Kick
mean, when
your
you're
butt.
little, you got to put on more of a facade than normal too, so it
I
makes
remember.
you fight more. So I always feel like the little guys are always the toughest, meanest fighters.
Well,
'cause you
80s
have to
public
fight.
school too.
Yeah.
80s public school.
Makes you
and-
tough.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then if you're little, like I had friends that were shorter and they had to prove kind of
Oh, for sure.
that they were strong. And,
Oh yeah, like Wendy Rutherford, freshman year at high school, we were in tutorial and I was standing in line, and minding my own business, doing my thing, and she cuts in front of me. I'm like, hey, you're cutting in front of me, and she's like, get out of the way, shrimp, shrimp. Nobody's talking to you, shrimp. And I was like, oh, that's it. Let's go
That's
outside.
all.
So I dropped my backpack. I said, let's go out front. So we went out
took off
front,
her earrings.
and she was huge, so tall. And I looked at her. I'm like, okay, where am I going to hit this bitch? Because she's big. So I hit her straight in the throat, knocked her wind out. She went forward, beat the shit out of her. And Mrs. Starring came to break up the fight, and I accidentally hit Miss Starring.
You were that girl.
Yeah. And so Miss Starring said, go.
You rabble
Now,
rouser.
go. So I left. Wendy left with me, and we walked home, and we both agreed to say that nothing happened, even though she was fucked up. Nothing's going to happen. So the next day we get called into the principal's office, and he's like, Monica, Wendy, what happened? And for the record, Miss Starring never ratted on us, never said I hit her, didn't have anything to do with it. It was just because there was a
Because it was the
commotion.
80s. We didn't really do
It
things
was the
like
90s. So yeah.
Kind of.
And
Same
so,
thing.
Same thing.
Early
And
90s.
so he asked both of us. We both denied anything happened, and we walked away, and we were friends after that. Fun fact.
Again, that's how it was.
That's how it was. It was like,
Yeah,
hey,
bang it
she was
out
out of
and-
line. She challenged me to a fight thinking that she would definitely win because she was so much bigger than me. And she learned that wasn't the case.
She got a can of whoop ass.
And that was it. We weren't mad at each other. There was never an issue after that, ever.
You just settled some.
Yeah.
you
But
know.
the sad thing is that little guys are always a little bit feistier because of that. And I feel like bigger guys have little guys trying to start fights with them too.
You can ask my boys.
Yeah.
Or even your brother used to have that. But yeah, they always like pick out the tallest, biggest guy in the place and try to start something with him. And they're like, come on.
And like, what's the first story you tell as a little guy that's been in a fight? You talk about the biggest person you beat the shit out of, right? It's like the first thing that comes to your mind. Who's the biggest?
It's like the biggest fish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It keeps getting bigger and bigger. But
right. Yeah. Literally, they keep growing. They're now 7'5".
You know, right? And 390 pounds.
Right. So what sports did you guys play? Did you guys play any sports?
Volleyball. Cheerleading.
Gosh.
What position were you for volleyball? Did you guys just rotate then?
Yeah, I think so.
Got it.
Yeah.
I played volleyball, basketball, and softball.
I played
softball forever.
So you played them all?
Yeah. And then I cheerleaded, but I think I only did that to high school. Then they said you can't cheer and play sports. So I had to make a decision, and I was never going to give up sports.
So you gave up cheer?
I gave up cheer.
Yeah, that's smart. It's a good call.
But I was a nerd. I was in drama and orchestra and choir. I had so much fun with my friends in those classes in junior high and elementary school and stuff like that I almost did all that too in high school. I almost did that instead.
I could see that. That makes sense.
It was fun. What about you? I mean, you were a softball girl too.
So I played all sports growing up, but when, 7th, 8th grade, of course, all the way through, I played softball since a little kid. And then 7th, 8th grade, I played softball, basketball, volleyball.
Point guard.
And I was a point guard and I was a setter for volleyball and I was a shortstop for softball. And then in high school, I played, went out for basketball and I was point guard. And we played Ripon Christian in a non-league game. And those girls had elbows in my face the entire game. I was a bloody mess.
Oh, no.
I was a mess. So, according to my coach, I did great. But we lost. And at the end of the game, I took off my jersey and handed it to him. And I'm like, I'm not built for basketball. This is not my sport.
Yeah,
he's like,
they
no,
drop
you did
elbows
great.
every time they come
He's like,
down.
you did great. Like, you're passing great. Everything's great. I'm like, no, this is not my sport.
In volleyball, you said you were a setter. I was a starting middle blocker. So we between the two of us, I was the tall one and you were the
short
one.
one. Yeah. And then I didn't play volleyball in high school and I just played softball. But so I love sports.
How far did you go with softball?
Well, I didn't go far because I dropped out of school, But
you played it all the way.
All the way till the end. And that was the only reason that I got any decent grades or even tried was so that way I could qualify for softball. So I did just enough to qualify to play softball.
2.0. I only needed to be eligible too.
Yeah. I literally set the bracket so freaking low. It wasn't funny.
Fun fact. I actually was ineligible my senior year for volleyball. After all that work, we ended up going to, I think we made it to the finals for state. And
like knowing you, like you are so much better than that.
Well, the worst part is I think I was undiagnosed ADHD I just couldn't. I was in all honors courses and I just couldn't do that and play sports at the same time. I just wasn't focused enough and I didn't have maybe the right guidance in recognizing that was the problem, kind of going, hey,
let's kick back a little bit.
Yeah, like you need to like bring it back. Or maybe these classes are too much for her while she's playing sports at the same time. I mean, goodness knows I went to Cuesta. I went to Cuesta in Morro Bay. I didn't go to a university, so I didn't need that kind of qualification, really. You know what I mean? But hey, it gave me a good vocabulary, right?
Yeah. Well, when I got kicked out of Ripon High for fighting, of course, we all know that.
Is that why you got kicked out?
Yeah. Gina's brother Garrett cheated on me with a girl, and we went back and forth. I won't say her name. That would be rude. She's a wonderful person, by the way. But she antagonized me about it a little bit through letters to friends at not tutorial, but what's that break? They had a name for that break back then. It was like intermission basically or something like that. Anyways, so bottom line is I went after school in detention, ripped her out of her seat and beat the shit out of her in front of Mr. Hall's class and Mr. Hall. So rightfully so, I was kicked out of school. And it was like the straw that broke the camel's back because I had been in so many fights. And I did it all over jealousy and anger. And whether she was antagonizing me or not, or whether my boyfriend cheated on me or not, did not matter. It was totally out of line.
You were angry and sad.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
Dealing with some stuff.
No excuse. But I was like on just a downhill slide anyways at that point. And it was probably the best thing to happen to me, to be real honest. And I had just met my real dad and his family. And so I moved to Turlock for 6 months, which was good because I broke up with Garrett at that time and it was what needed to happen. I went and lived with him and it was like culture shock. But I was going to school in that period. And because they were super regimented with me with school, like you go to school, you do your homework, you're eating right, you come right home. There's no social bull crap. I got straight A's for that semester. And so it was like, oh, okay. So the reality is like I am capable of getting good grades. It's about structure and focus. And that's why
about that.
Yeah. And that's why in my office, like I talked about last episode, it's like, Dracula's lair in there because I want to be super focused, like hyper focused.
Right.
And that's how I do it.
And that's the only way I could get things done also. My parents grounded me I was grounded every other week in elementary and junior high, where it would quite literally be me checking the calendar. Your birthday party's on what day? Okay, well, I'll probably be grounded this week and then off the following week and then grounded because they got progress reports. So they came in on Friday. I would try really hard the next week because I was grounded. And then means I did bad on the progress report when it came back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I had I did really well. So it means that I got off restriction. So I had all that freedom, which means I did all bad again. And so I just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
It was like a circle.
Yeah. It was just, I didn't have the focus.
Yeah. No, I get it. What about you, Gina?
Did I do bad in school?
I don't know. Are you part of this combo?
I was just listening to your guys' conversation. I didn't pass the 10th grade, okay? Yeah, I'm not going to partake in it. I don't even remember high school.
Girl, what are we talking right now?
Yeah,
I was looking at
I don't
something
have
else.
those kind of, I ran away from home. So
yeah, I did that too, but I did that prior.
Yeah, I didn't. I made it to 10th grade. I was there. I think that was it. I ran away and I was done.
You ever get any fights?
No, with my sister. One fight.
Oh, that's right. We talked about this.
Yeah.
It's with your sister.
So I've never, I wasn't a fighter. I was too afraid of everything in my life. So, no.
Did you fight back with your sister?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if like you put in the situation if you would.
Yeah. I had to at that point. But no, I didn't. I've never been in there was always like drama, I think, and like rumors. Like high school is so catty and so lame.
So many women are catty and so lame.
Yeah. It's just, it's like they breed. Nobody tells these girls like we need to be on each other's side.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
we
the problem.
need to lift other girls, other women. We need to lift each other up and not be fighting over men or fighting over anything.
Well, and when you do all that fighting and tearing down, in the end, it never makes you feel any better. So it's not doing anything positive except for actually making you feel worse,
and
guilty.
These are experiences in our life, right? And they tend to stay with us. I just went to my 30-year reunion, and as I sat there, I could tell you every mean girl in that room.
Yeah.
Are they still mean, do you think? No, you think they've grown up and all that.
Yeah,
so.
For sure.
So it wasn't because you recognize them as a mean girl, you mean, from back in the day?
No. Yeah, I just recognize them as, oh, okay. Yeah, I remember you for sure. I was never the popular one. I was never, I didn't come from a wealthy family. I struggled in school. There was always some kind of drama coming from my house, so I think
you did pretty darn good, sister. Yeah, look where you are now.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wish that there was, there should be more rallies for, kindness and people that are, like, why are we not teaching these kids to be kind human beings to each other?
Do you remember?
Words matter. And, that sounds so wrong.
Do you remember home economics?
Yeah, I loved home ec.
Right. It was everything because they
taught
one of the few
classes I liked.
But they taught you the basics of things. And I feel like that,
Mrs. Scola was amazing. But she's still out there. Mrs. Scola, peace out.
Whoop, whoop. Shouldn't they have a class kind of like home ec that teaches you how to be, how to do hospitality and how to be like, to realize that when you think something of someone else, that is coming from somewhere not okay in you. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that person has a problem. It means that you have a problem.
Well, nowadays they don't teach anything like that,
No,
right? Like
no.
I learned how to do a checkbook, to register a checkbook. Like you learn life skills
Bake a
in
meringue pie.
those classes. I mean, nowadays, my employees can't read my handwriting.
Yeah, what's
They
cursive?
cannot read my cursive.
Mine is horrible.
They're like, can you translate this? What do you think this means? Yeah. They have
That's
no
nuts.
clue.
They just can't read
They
mine because
can't
my
even
handwriting is so bad.
sign.
Well, you're cursive too, though, kind of, aren't you?
They
Yeah,
can't
but it's
even sign
terrible.
their names. Like they print their names
Doc
and it
sign.
looks
Doc sign.
terrible.
I've seen them do that, print their
Yeah.
names instead of autograph.
The year
Or
they took
signature.
cursive out of school, Maddie was in second grade. And so I taught her cursive.
So she knows it then.
Yeah. Well, you have beautiful handwriting like your mom had.
Yeah, it
It's,
is.
it's so important.
Mhm.
It's so important. And we've lost so many things like that.
I admire people with beautiful penmanship. And usually it tends to be women, but I really admire it.
Adam has really great penmanship.
What does it look like? Is it
It's-
cursive?
yeah.
Is it small?
Small, cursive. It's just it's very, very pretty.
Pam Davison has some of the best handwriting. I love Pam Davison's handwriting.
My oldest son, when he writes, he was actually a scribe in boot camp. I know he probably didn't think it was a good thing at the time, but he writes like a typewriter almost in all capitals, and everything is right next to each other like a typewriter. It's all perfect.
My office ladies say that I look like a serial killer's handwriting.
I'm going to agree.
Yeah. I have horrible
There's truth
handwriting.
there.
Yeah. And because I'm dyslexic, I actually write dyslexic. So like the word lake, I'll put L-A-K-E and then I come back and I add the L. Fun fact.
You'll add the L at the end.
In front of the A after I've already written it out, because I leave off the L and I remember after I've written the E, like lake is with an L first. So I go back and add. It's really stupid. I don't know. But that's how a lot of the
Interesting.
times I write like that. So if somebody's watching me write something down, they'll notice that. And it's like, what is wrong with my brain that it does that? But I mean, that's just how it is. So it makes my handwriting all the more worse.
Right. Like a left-hander. I wish I wrote pretty like you, sister. Yours is so, I don't know. It's very
Beautiful.
scripty.
I can
Yeah.
write upside down.
I'm
What?
sorry. That is very much a talent that you have never said.
That is so cool.
No, I can. They used to, when they taught us cursive, because back then they could like flick you and shit, right?
Good old
Like
days.
your paper, you had to be sitting up. They would make sure everybody sit up straight, and that corner of that paper had to hit your belly button. And that is how you wrote, right? That's how they wanted you
Was
to
that
learn.
in public school?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used
That's
to get
how-
beat in public school.
You
with a
wanted
paddle.
Yeah, that's how you wrote. But my brain doesn't like work like that. So I needed the paper to go this way so that I could write this way.
And that's why I write like a left-hander.
And
so
it
everything
made
goes like this.
Yeah, and it made more sense. Like that's how. But that was before they, were like, oh, something's wrong with her, or diagnosed you with anything, right?
It probably was something.
Yeah.
And then we probably, that's just really interesting. So I went to Catholic school, and that's what they taught me how to do cursive, but they did that same thing with the paper had to be perfect. And she walked around with a ruler, and you didn't want to get in trouble. Your knuckles would be bruised.
I grew up initially in Modesto, and when I moved to Ripon, my mom had written a note that said, if you need to spank Monica, please do so. Because they used to spank me in Modesto. So I got in trouble, and I was shocker. I got in trouble.
Like, you put your hands on my kid and I'll burn your house down.
Like
I'm just
literally
joking. I was that mom.
first day I got in trouble at Rapona, and Mr. Pruitt has me in his office, and he is talking to me about what I did wrong. And I'm like, okay. And he's telling me how he's going to give me in school suspension or whatever it is. And so he calls my mom and he puts her on speakerphone. And he pushes his little button. And if anybody, I know there's people out there that are listening to this that remembers Mr. Pruitt's office. It was so nice. And remember, he had that little black book. And at the end of my time with him, that sucker was filled all the way up, by the way, all of me. But he called my mom, and he's like, Mrs. Silva, I have Monica in here. She got in trouble, whatever the reason was. And so, we're going to, do in-school suspension, whatever. She goes, well, I gave you a note saying you could spank her. And he goes, ma'am, we don't do that in this district.
She was like, why can't you just beat her and be done with it?
I'm over there like, what the hell is this woman doing? She's selling me down the river over here.
I remember hearing them spanking kids with paddles in the auditorium.
Yeah.
And you could hear them screaming.
Mine was in the principal's office, and I remember being bent right over his lap and getting spanked right in front of the office ladies.
Would you guys let anybody spank your kid like that?
No, hell no.
I was not like that.
But I mean, that's why it's not legal anymore. And that's why, like,
Right.
you know, certain things of nowadays is obviously much better.
Right.
But it's not all bad. But certain things is definitely better. All right, tribe members, thank you so much for taking a trip down memory lane, revisiting the fun games and the childhood stories. These remind us of the importance of play, laughter, and not sweating the small stuff. This is Mighty Mo, and until next time, feel blessed, be blessed.